Hello everyone, today's topic is extremely interesting because today we are not talking about how to create the software, how to write code, but today we are talking about how to deliver your software. Let's face it, no matter how good your software is, until and unless you have a pipeline where you can deliver the software effectively, efficiently, on demand, bug free to the end user, it's of no use. Okay, so today whatever we are going to talk about concerned with this, and in this context I'm going to talk about feature toggles and trunk based development. I believe you must have heard these terms are coming as part of, there is something called DevOps, an umbrella term called DevOps. Okay, I'm going to talk about how to use them, what are they, and more importantly I will also talk about how not to use them. So let's go ahead and start. But before I go ahead, let me introduce you to some common terms. It didn't work in production, firefighting, merge hell, build breaks. I do not believe that there is any software company in this planet which has not experienced all of them, or at least most of them, right? People keep on saying that it didn't work in production. They will keep on doing firefighting, talk about merge hill where different codes are being merged, builds are breaking. All these things are common problems associated with day in and day out of software development. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how to maybe minimize that. And feature toggles and trunk based development are one of the major tools of doing so. Okay, now before we talk about feature toggles, let me talk about something called branching strategy. All software companies, anyone who writes the code, has something called branching strategy, the way of arranging their code, their work in progress code, as well as their production code. So, in general, here is how the branching strategy looks like. Generally, we have a main branch. There is a main function, there is a main branch. It is actually named as main in most of the cases. Okay. Now, when we want to develop a feature, we create feature branches. Okay, because the feature is in development, it cannot be put into main. And then when we want to create sub feature, we create a sub feature branch, and then we software developers also create my special feature branch, which may or may not go to production. Now, most of the cases we have multiple releases or multiple customers. For that, we have something called release branches. Release 1 for one customer, release 2 for another customer, or for same customer, different releases. Okay. So whatever you are seeing on your screen right now, all branching strategies is somewhere similar to this. Now, you might be thinking that I'm going to say that there is a problem with this branching strategy. No, there is no problem with this branching strategy. You know what is the problem? The problem is when you start merging code from different branches to different branches. This is where problem is. Problem is not with having multiple branches. If your branches are totally independent, without any relation with each other, fine. But this is the problem where codes are coming from different branches to different branches, and the merge things happens. Now, people try multiple things within the same scheme of things, right? Having some more checkpoints, having more reviews, or giving time to merge, or doing multiple testing. All those things, in my opinion, is very similar to whatever you are seeing in your screen right now. That is insanity, because we are trying to do the same things again and again and expecting different results. And I don't know of any company which has achieved different results out of some permutation and combination of the same branching strategy. So, what to do? There is one option, and that option is called trunk based development. If you are not aware of trunk based development, don't worry, I'm going to talk about it right now. So, in trunk based development, the primary idea of trunk based development is that we should not have multiple branches like feature branches or long lived branches. Generally, the idea of trunk based development is that small code changes on a daily basis or even hourly basis can go to the main branch all the time. So, here is how it looks like. Whenever someone wants to do some development, they can create a branch I am calling it near to main branch. You can call it with any name. I am calling it near to main branch, and people do some changes and actually keep on checking in their changes to the main branches. Now, looks good, but there is a problem. I know you might have discovered what is the problem. How to check in unfinished things, because it is not expected that I am able to finish each and everything within an hour, within a day. It is not possible. Some of the development may go on for months also, right? But in trunk based development, what we are saying that we should check in things as and when possible, daily basis, or if possible hourly basis. So that means we are going to check in unfinished code, right? Absolutely right. But how that will happen, how it will impact the code? To handle this, there is a term called feature toggles or feature flags. These two words are being used interchangeably. So whether you are saying feature toggles or feature flag, both are correct. Now let me explain how it works. So let's talk about a main branch which is having a feature which is depicted in green color. And in the near to main branch, I am creating a feature called red feature. Okay. After some time, I am creating a feature called blue feature, and after some time, I am creating a feature called orange feature. As you can see in this picture, that all these features are actually going to the main branch. But it is still possible that the customer or the end user only gets the green feature which was already there, even if all these three new features are there in the main branch, because of toggles called red toggle, blue toggle, and orange toggle. So until and unless we enable these toggles, these features will not be enabled. And you know why we create feature toggles? Because whatever changes we are doing as part of the new feature, we can test it with respect to the existing feature. So when we have red toggle, we can check red feature with green feature to make sure that nothing is being broken, and same is applicable to blue feature as well as orange feature. We can enable the toggle in our testing environment, and we can check the same whether any change, any new feature is breaking the existing feature, and we can keep on doing that irrespective of our delivery cycle, irrespective of what we are giving to our customers. Okay, so what will happen when the task is completed? Well, when the task is completed, because of the presence of the toggles, you can decide which customer will get what. In this case, this customer is getting all four features, this customer is getting just two features, and this customer is getting three features. And why we do that? Well, multiple regions. There may be a business region, or there may be a licensing differentiation regions, or there may be a technical region, as you can see in your screen right now. Now, how to implement feature toggles? So by this time, you understood what is trunk-based development and how feature toggles or feature flags enable trunk-based development. Let's talk about how to implement feature toggles. The simplest way of implementing feature toggles is if conditions. So if this feature is enabled, do this, otherwise do that. Simple, okay? This is the simplest way of doing this. This is good enough for a very simple toggles or for the code which is simple or small. But it is not good if you have multiple features enabled, and for that you have to write if condition after if condition after if condition and so on. Here you can see I have written main feature, then sub feature, then local feature, do ABC. And if you look into this, this will look like a triangle. These if conditions will look like a triangle. This is also called sometimes toggle hell or triangle of doom. Don't use this. Remember, whatever things that gives us life can take our lives to fire, air, water, to name a few. Similarly, whatever I am telling you right now is meant to, simplify our way of working. Not using them appropriately may lead to even bigger problems. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, you know that maybe if condition is not a better way of implementing it. So, how can you do that? We'll talk about it, but let's talk about the type of feature toggles. Okay, so there are generally three types of feature toggles: compile time, during startup and runtime. And there are different types of toggles. You can consider this as a release toggle, operation toggle, technical toggle, experimental toggle, or permission toggle. Okay, so this I will not say that this list is exhaustive, but most of or more than 90% of the things can come under this. Okay, so in the x-axis, as you move from compile time toggles to runtime toggles, the flexibility increases. Okay, flexibility because if you have runtime toggle, you do not need to compile the code again. So flexibility is more. So for release toggle, generally people like to use compile time toggle. Okay. For operation specific things, people use runtime toggle. For technical things, people use compile time as well as a startup based toggle. For experimental things, people generally use runtime toggle so that they can disable it as and when possible. For experiment, we can have startup based toggle also, but it is generally avoided. For permission, we can have runtime based toggles. Okay, so this is the generally accepted norm. Okay, but it is not a sacrosanct, or this is not something that is written in stones. Okay, you can change that, but this is what you will come up with most of the time. Now let's talk about life cycle of all these toggles. Always remember, if you are having a feature which is not optional and it has become a core part of your software, then why feature toggles? Okay, you need to make sure that you remove these toggles. This is one mistake everybody does. People keep on adding new feature toggles, feature flags without thinking about removing them. You need to think about removing feature toggles also. Okay, so based on that, here is the life cycle, proposed life cycle. Again, this is not sacrosanct, but generally release toggles are short-lived. They are static toggles. Okay, experimental toggles are short-lived and dynamic. Okay, operational toggles and experimental toggles are generally long-lived, mostly dynamic. So this is the kind of life cycle of your feature toggles. Now, before I go ahead and talk about the implementation of how to implement instead of using if condition, let me talk about some good or bad toggles. And in this particular case, unfortunately, the name of a company surfaces, Knight Capitals. Okay, and there is something called 45 minutes of hell. So if you Google these terms, you'll get complete story of this company lost pretty much everything within 45 minutes because of the bad implementation of a feature toggle. So it's a good read, but this read is not for you to make fun of it. Okay, oh, see that company, they have gone because of bad usage of feature toggles. No, this read is for you to understand and learn from their mistakes. Okay, it was unintentional mistake, and I also believe that this is called the most costly mistake or software bug. Okay, which wiped off pretty much everything, all the capital of a company. So go ahead and read about it. This is a bad way of implementing feature toggle. So again, as I talked about it earlier, use it carefully. Now, let me talk about feature toggle how not to, which means that first, do not use if condition. Second, do not reuse any toggle names ever. No matter if you have used a toggle name 10 years back, do not reuse it. There are enough unique sequences and numbers can be created for all your features. Don't use names X and Y. Use always meaningful names, however long it is. Okay. And if a toggle is not used for a longer time, remove that. Okay, and don't use text files to enable and disable toggles. People generally use config files. Okay, it is easy to get lost over there. Instead, think of using some data store which can be used as a feature toggle and which can be changed, updated, irrespective of the status of your software, or you can create a YAML kind of structure for feature toggles, including hierarchy, because once you create feature toggles, there will be hierarchy, and maintaining that hierarchy in a sacrosanct way is extremely important. Minimize if else. So there will be case where you need to use some if conditions. Okay, you cannot avoid it even if it looks bad, but minimize it. So if I minimize that, what should I use? Think of using, if you are using object oriented programming, think of using dependency injection. Use some language feature toggle libraries. Almost all programming languages has feature toggle libraries. Explore them, see what works good for you. If you are using Java or something similar which has the concept of beans or something similar, use that type of implementation, and actually separate implementations for tightly coupled entities. Like within microservices, things are tightly coupled. Create a separate implementation for them if you want to use different feature toggles. So these are the few things which you need to take care while implementing feature toggles, and that's all about feature toggles and trunk based development. I hope and believe that I was able to explain what it is, how you should make use of it, and why it is necessary, and what are things you need to take care before using feature toggles. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.